Good morning, dear students. On behalf of the team VIDYA Sadhana, I welcome all of you to the 8th video lecture on English grammar. Today we shall discuss about the voice of a verb, that is the active voice and passive voice. The lecture will follow the book published by the team VIDYA Sadhana entitled My First Book of English Grammar. To start, please have a glance on the text of the lecture materials. The voice of a verb is a form of the verb that indicates whether a grammatical subject is the performer of an action or is the receiver of an action. Accordingly, there are two voices, that is forms of a verb, active voice and passive voice. A verb is said to be in active form, that is called active voice, when it shows that the subject is doing something, that is subject is the performer. For example, Izhan eats rice. Here Izhan is the subject and Izhan is doing something. Similarly, a verb is said to be in passive form, that is called passive voice, when it shows that something is done to the subject, that is subject is the receiver here. For example, rice is eaten by Izhan. Here rice is the subject and because something is done to rice. Please note that the object of a verb in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Because intransitive verb has no subject, hence only the transitive verb can be used in the passive voice. To change active voice into passive voice, we have to follow 4 steps. The first step is that the subject and the object of an active voice are the object and the subject respectively of the corresponding passive voice. Hence, we have to interchange the subject and object of a verb of an active voice accordingly to convert an active voice into passive voice. In short, interchange the subject and object of an active voice. Step 2, we have to add helping verbs to the main verb in the passive voice as per certain standard rules which we will discuss later on. Step 3, always change the main verb to its past participle form in the passive voice. Step 4, we have to add for living objects the word by and for the non-living objects the word with before the object in the passive voice. The rules for addition of helping verbs, that is auxiliaries, to the main verb in the passive voice are like this. In the simple present tense, we add the auxiliary be verb am or is or are. In the present continuous tense, we add the auxiliaries being. In the present perfect tense, we use been. And in the present perfect continuous tense, we add being. In the simple past tense, we add be, verb was or were. In past continuous being, past perfect been, and past perfect continuous being. In future tense, in simple future tense, we use the be verb shall or will. In future continuous tense, we use being. In future perfect tense, we use been. And in the future perfect continuous tense, we use being. B-E-I-N-G, being. In the book, I have given several examples how to convert an active voice into passive voice when the sentences are in the present tense, very simple, continuous, perfect, or perfect continuous. Similarly, in the past tense, in the future tense, or the sentences are interrogative, imperative sentence. So please refer to the book for detailed appreciation of the steps to be followed for conversion of active voice into passive voice when the sentences are of different kind. For example, in the present indefinite tense, that present, simple present tense, if the sentence is active voice is Izhan eats rice, then passive voice will be rice is eaten by Izhan. Suppose present perfect tense, Izhan has eaten rice, then passive voice will be rice has been eaten by Izhan. So let us take past tense, past continuous tense. The active voice Alisa was eating rice, then in passive voice it will be rice was being eaten by Alisa. Let us take on case of an example of future tense. Suppose it is future perfect continuous tense. That is, Fariha will have been eating rice. In passive voice it will be rice will have been being eaten by Fariha. If you take an interrogative sentence, who did this? In the active voice. In passive voice it will be by whom was this done. If you take an imperative sentence, open the door, that is in active voice. Passive voice will be let the door be opened. Another example, do it. In passive voice it will be let it be done. Similarly, if you have to change passive voice into active voice, then the examples are, one example, my book has been stolen. That is by somebody. That is in passive voice. In active voice it will be someone has stolen my book. Another example, take I was asked my name. That is somebody asked me my name. So in active voice it will be someone asked me my name. So on. Dear students, kindly go through the book for detailed appreciation of the change of voice from active voice into passive voice through examples. Several examples have been given in the book. I am sure that once you go through the book and your conception about the change of voice will be crystal clear. The relevant text has also been provided in the description box of the video details. Kindly also refer to that. Dear students, this is all about today's video lecture. If you like the video lecture, you may like to subscribe to this channel. Hope to see you in the next lecture. Thank you.